Getting with two barrels today, a short sermon for confirmations and a short sermon for the Mass. Short because there's not too much time. Confirmations, not somebody being confirmed for the first time, but only a conditional confirmation, in case the first confirmation was not valid. If the first wasn't valid, certainly they're confirmed today. If it was valid, nothing is happening today. Confirmation is a sacrament that can only be administered once. The question is, there's no question of administering it twice when the first time has been valid, only if the first time is doubtful, as of course the new church has made all the sacraments dance on the edge of invalidity. Diabolical. If it was clearly invalid, there would have been much more of a reaction when the new rites were first brought in and when the conciliar church began. But to dance on the edge of invalidity, to cast doubt so that you're not sure whether it's valid or not, terrible. Because then the temptation is to go with the flow and not object, and maybe it's all right, and so we'll go along with it. And then the danger is that eventually the shaping of the rest of the rite, which is invariably in the direction of the modern world and away from the true church, the shaping of the rest of the rite works on the intention of the minister so that he finishes up intending, well, not what the old sacraments did, because that's a bit ancient and that's a bit exaggerated and that's a bit too spiritual, in tune with the modern world. And then there's a good chance, if that's the way his intention is shaped, there's a good chance that the sacraments in the new rite become invalid. Complicated, yes, but it's no use adopting exaggerated arguments which aren't true. And that's why the change of Vatican II was so clever. It wasn't clearly false, clearly invalid, clearly wrong. It was always sort of, well, okay, yes, maybe, and then you go along with it. And if you go along with it, you get pulled along with it towards the goal of the new religion, which of course is the complete emptying out of the old religion, the complete replacing of the old religion. Well, today, the true rite, administered with proper oil and with the proper words, according as the church has done it for centuries. And that's certainly valid. So whoever's receiving conditional confirmation today knows that coming out of today, they will certainly be confirmed. Confirmation, a precious and powerful sacrament. Interestingly enough, when I was just in France, it's sort of become the habit to give First Communion before confirmation, but the logical order is baptism, confirmation, and then First Communion. So the children must know their catechism well enough to receive confirmation, let's say 6, 7, rather than 8 or 9. Anyway, confirmation before communion makes some sense. In any case, today I don't think there's a question of children, therefore that doesn't arise. But it's a confirmation, it's a sacrament which completes baptism and brings it's the spiritual coming of age, the making of a soldier of Christ, as you certainly learned when you learned your confirmation. And of course, since it's a sacrament that can't be repeated, then it's a sacrament the grace of which is always there. If that stamp is upon my soul, which it is, the spiritual stamp upon my spiritual soul, from the moment I receive the sacrament at the hands of a valid minister, normally a bishop, the moment I receive that stamp on my soul, the grace is always there. So if you're in a difficult situation, you've been confirmed, certainly validly, and you're in a difficult situation and you need some fighting spirit or some fighting grace, you can turn to God and say, by the sacrament of my confirmation, Lord, give me the strength through that sacrament, through the stamp on my soul, give me the strength I need to stand and fight like a Christian in a crazy, crazy world, which is crazy by the day. One word only on that. Be very careful of what you read in the media these days. The media lie and lie and lie about what's happening, for instance, in Ukraine, about, for instance, that shooting of the airliner, but it's everything that's going on. The people behind the media are pushing and pushing and pushing to start the Third World War. They absolutely want the Third World War, because otherwise their system is going to crack and crash, and they've got a limited amount of time before it cracks and crashes, and therefore they want to get into the Third World War before that happens. So it seems. But in any case, don't believe what you see in the media and the newspapers. If the media are agreed that it was the separatist Ukrainians that shot down the airliner, then it's absolutely unlikely. Because what good does it do them? Those it will do good to is those who want to start the Third World War. And that's not the separatist, and so on and so on. Well, we're here for religious reasons, but of course, never forget that behind politics is religion. And behind modern politics is a complete lack of religion. It's godlessness which is producing the politics and the world politics of today. If people had any sense of God, they would not be hunting for the Third World War. They would be dead scared of it.